gotta think of a way to get this money by tomorrow. I gotta think of a way to get this money by tomorrow.
You're now locked in to another episode of the Black Aristocrats podcast.
You feel me?
We're here for the culture, current events, talking brand, conversations about the grind,
I need this money.
and spreading the greatest wealth of all, knowledge.
Come on, man. Let's talk this Black Aristocrat shit, man.
Come laugh with us over some informative ish
My jokes, y'all. I'm working on my jokes.
on the Black Aristocrats podcast.
Yo, what the business? We back for another one, man. The Black Aristocrat podcast. Y'all know what today is. It's MLK Day. So what better way I pick to jump back out there in the field and also show our appreciation to such a great legend in the Black community. So this episode is purely about Dr. Martin Luther King. Some of these facts that I didn't know, I just thought I'd share. I mean, it's always out there. The information is out there for us to grab and gather. So I thought I'd share that with y'all as well and come up with a great episode. So y'all sit back, relax, and we're going to get into some Dr. King stuff, man. You feel me? So we're going to start off with the man, the myth himself, Dr. King, his name. Everybody know him as Dr. Martin Luther King, but he wasn't born that way. He was actually born Michael King Jr., named after his dad. How did he get the name Martin Luther, you ask? That actually came from his dad used to study the teachings of a 16th century thinker by the name of Martin Luther. And that's what Martin was basically inspired by. So he actually changed his name to Martin Luther instead of Michael. But, you know, black folks in the community, we gonna still call him Mike when we see him. You feel me? I know him as Michael. You feel me? So just like on the said in the barbershop, I'm gonna call him with his mama name. His mama name is Michael. I'm gonna call him Michael. So, but I thought that was pretty cool, man. I ain't even really know that. I did not know that his name was really Michael. So that's another fun fact. So throughout this little episode, you might hear me refer to him as Michael. Don't charge me, charge the man, because he changed his name. But back to this great human being, man. He also enrolled in college when he was 15 years old. 15 years old? That shows you how smart the brother was, man. I wasn't even thinking about enrolling in college at the age of 15. So we got to give him credit to that, man. And kids, take notes. You can be the next Martin Luther King too. So hit them books, hit them books, hit them books. Don't let nobody tell you education ain't key. Another fun fact about the brother was they actually made MLK Day a holiday around 1986. And guess what? It was somebody in the South that just gave problems with actually all 50 states conforming with making MLK a holiday. The last of those states, you guessed it, the last of those states was South Carolina, y'all. South Carolina made MLK a state in 2000. They wasn't the only one that was opposed to it. Back in the 80s, President Ronald Reagan also opposed MLK being a holiday, stating that it might make unprecedented or other groups think that they can demand their own holiday as well. So he was opposing that, man. But eventually everyone had to conform and it was made a holiday. So kudos to everybody who signed that petition and did everything they were supposed to do. I ain't mad at them. I mean, back in them days, it was still white horses and sheeps running around. Speaking of that, let me take a little break right there. Quick intermission. Y'all can't see that, you know what I'm saying? But back in them days, man, it was, white sheets and horses. So just taking out the trash, man, at the wrong time of the day or the right time of the day, you could get the hard ER thrown at you at any moment. Matter of fact, that's how they greet people, I heard. You feel me? Hey, nigger, what's up, nigger? I mean, hey, we say it here now and then, but I just couldn't picture nobody else calling me out my name. So again, just imagine all the things that they had to go through back in those days, man. You got to give the brother credit, man. Some more fun facts about Dr. King is he was actually inspired to start his injustice by when he was a little kid, just out of the blue, all of a sudden, his white friend, you know what, just stopped playing with him all of a sudden. I wonder why. Hey, it won't be the first time and it won't be the last time that it happened. Can can personally remember when I was shut down by my first piece of white dynamite, in the words of J.J. Evans. She shut me down faster than somebody saying they got coronavirus in a public setting. Shut me down. But you can't blame her though, man. You know, that was like part of their culture, not their culture, but that's how her pops grew up, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, pops obeyed his pops and so forth on. So you can't get mad at, you know, how they was brought up. I mean, I had some racist people in my family, if you think about it, like my great mother, grandmother, and great great grandmother. I'm sure they felt the same way about those rockers than they felt about us back in the time. So it was a two-way street. You got to learn to live it and love it. But in this here day and age right here, we all made true, or we helped play a part in Dr. King's dream by everyone just living together, brotherhood, peace, you know, love one another. That's what he always wanted. That was his dream. And you do see it. Stay out of Mississippi, but you know, shouts out to everybody living King's dream. You know what I'm saying? So you do see it. So kudos to that, man. So not to go off on the tangent, man. Another fun fact of Dr. King was, don't y'all know, and I did not know this. He is the only American besides George Washington, unless this was updated recently, that has a holiday made after their birthday. So that's pretty big as well. You know, you can say Christopher Columbus too, but to me personally, Christopher Columbus ain't never really found nothing. I think they just gave that brother a holiday. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to that. But yeah, man. So I think that was pretty cool too. But also the most important thing of it all, not most important, but I think this was like interesting. Don't you know that Dr. King was actually like stabbed? Like they actually stabbed him. Like he was at a book signing, right? And a black lady walked up to him. You feel me?
The only question I heard from her was, "You, Martin Luther King?" And I said yes. The next minute I felt something beating on my chest. Before I knew it, I had been stabbed by this demented woman. That blade had gone through and the x-rays revealed. The tip of the blade was on the edge of my aorta, the main artery. And once that's punctured, you're drowned in your own blood. That's the end of it. It came out in the New York Times the next morning that if I had merely sneezed, I would have died. After my chest had been opened and the blade had been taken out, from all over the states and the world, kind letters came in. One of them I will never forget. I had received one from the president and the vice president. I've forgotten what those telegrams said. I received a visit and a letter from the governor of New York, but I've forgotten what that letter said.
I just want to ask. I had to stop it, y'all. I just want to ask. I'm bending down because my mic right there, but I just want to ask. If I was back in them times, I wrote a letter too. And my letter was, Martin, Michael, whoever you want me to call you, what would make that black lady stab you, boy? In this day and age, you must have did her wrong, boy. If you get stabbed by a black woman in this day and age, you must have did her wrong. So I asked in the letter, Martin, what make that black lady stab you, Martin? Because Coretta was asking them questions too. You goddamn right. Martin was in the hospital bed. You out your mind if you think Coretta wasn't asking him, well, Martin, why? What would make this woman want to stab you? So, Martin, Michael, you better answer me right now. Then I'm hearing people saying she been looking for you for 5 years. You've been on the road. You've been on the road 6 years. That's about the right time frame, Michael. You better answer me, Michael. Coretta, I had a dream.
I said I would rather that woman stab me right in my chest before I face the wrath of a black woman. Kill me dead. And that was the end. And in them letters, they wrote Michael letters, man. I wrote Michael a letter. I ain't gonna lie. I wrote Michael a letter. Back in them days, if I was back in them days, I wrote Michael a letter. And in that letter, I said, Michael, what would make that lady want to stab you, man? It's only two things I can think of. Because, boy, the wrath of a black woman, she gonna stab you if you did her wrong. And she been looking for you for 5 years? 5 years, Michael? Boy, you know that lady was looking to goddamn get in your ass. 5 years, Michael? You did that black woman something, my brother. Something. We don't know what it is.
Sometime, bitch.
We don't know what it is, but you did that black lady something, Michael. We got to find out, Michael. So I wrote the letter and I asked, why did that black woman stab you, Michael? And we all know, allegedly, hey, Mike was on the road now. So, we don't know. But that black lady stabbed Michael, y'all. Michael did something. Now, you better be easy, Mike. That's all I'm saying, brother. So, Dr. King was incarcerated, some say over 20 times. Others say over 30 times. We don't know. But I say that to say this. If you a CF, I don't mean college football. I don't mean college funding. I'm talking convicted felon. You still got a shot. Because if Martin did it, you can do it. You feel me? So, last but not least, the fun fact was two of my favorite Martin Luther King speeches was The Promised Land, which some say he depicted an eerie feeling of his death coming, and the other one was I Have a Dream. In the I Have a Dream speech, a fun fact about that was it was a guy named George Ravelin. He worked with the King team during that time. Right after the speech, he asked Dr. King, could he have the 3-page speech that it was written on or typed on, whatever it was. And Dr. King actually gave him a copy of it. That copy, this man got offers for close to $3.5 million for the copies of that speech. He is not selling it. Me, on the other hand, it's gone. I'm selling it. I probably would have took 100,000. At that time, shit, man. Crazy, man. Let me get that, man. But he did the right thing by keeping it. He wanted to keep it as a nice piece in his family's history. And who knows, if they want $3.5 million in this day and age, who knows how much that money gonna be worth 5 or 10, 20 plus years down the line. Hopefully, the right family members is gonna do the right thing with it. Because if they get in the hands of a Tyrone Bixby, you gonna let it go for a nice one, a nice hubba. He gonna let it go for a nice hubba and about a week stay at a nice hotel. And Tyrone Biggums get a hold of that motherfucking I Have a Dream speech, boy. A couple hubbas, and a week at an extended stay hotel, boy. Them documents is out the window, man. But I thought that was pretty cool about that, man. And lastly, like we all know, Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis, man. It rocked the community. We are still affected by it. It's a lot of conspiracy theories behind it, but that won't stop everyone else that was a part of his dream, the people afterward that decided to let his legacy live on. And we're going to do the same here at the Black Aristocrats podcast. We just want to say thank you, Dr. King, for all the work that you have put in for the culture, not only the culture, but for everyone and that's a part of humanity that's got a good heart and soul, man, and believe in peace and justice for all and the united of everyone. So I know we going to continue to do that, man, and we're going to continue to pay homage to the forefathers who laid down the groundwork for us to live how we live in the day. So shouts out to Dr. King, man, and his family. Shouts out to everybody who is actually throwing or attending or at a MLK party. I never really thought of that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I never really thought of a MLK party. I never thought of that at all. But I might as well join y'all, man, now that this episode is over with, man. So, the Black Aristocrats Podcast, we are out.
Hey, now, what's happening? Go listen to the Black Aristocrat right now.
The Black Aristocrats Podcast.